Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Mary D Talk Show on another, I'm going to say beautiful Monday, but I know for some of you it's not beautiful. I was just watching the weather. Wow, back east, the storms and the snow, and it's just not pretty. It's not pretty, but I shouldn't say it's not pretty. It is pretty, but it's just causing havoc on society. So for those of you that live in the cold winter area, we're so sorry to see you dealing with all that. Um, at least I know I am. So I just want you to know that if you're here and we're in our 70s or 80s here in Southern Cal, it makes me pray for you guys. It really does. So just so you know that you're in our prayers. I know this storm is not going to last. I know they just on the news they said it's going to pass through. So I'm glad to hear that. I'd like to thank you for those of you that are watching us live, and I'd like to thank you, the replay viewers, all of you that go to YouTube and like and subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because you are the fans for the show, and the show wouldn't exist without you. So thank you. It really is appreciated. And thank you for telling your friends and family about watching the Mary D Talk Show. I also want to thank our sponsors for today's show, IEHP, Inland Health, IEHP, Inland Empire Health Plan, also Main Ambition Incorporated, nonprofit. Those are two new sponsors that have come on board. We also, those of you familiar with the Idea Club is a sponsor. TheIdeaClub.com, Front Page Publishing is a sponsor. FrontPagePublishing.com if you're looking to write or publish a book. There's so many sponsors. We also have Sutton Insurance. We have the Henderson Real Estate Team, .info. If you would, I just ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to support our sponsors. That's the one thing I would encourage you to do. Now, as many of you know, I always try to show the authors that have published with the company. And the reason I do that is because some people they think they're too old. How many times I've said that about myself, so I know other people have said it. Oh, I'm too old to do that. I'm too old to do this. Are you breathing? As I often say, as long as you are, you can do whatever it is that you have a desire to do. We have here, as I'd like to show you, this is I always say, this lady, I have so much respect for her. She knows it. I tell her I love her every time I talk to her. And her name is Dr. Henry. She wrote this book and published it with our company, From the Ashes I Rise. It is an outstanding book. Outstanding book. Ladies and gentlemen, you can pick this up right there on Amazon. It makes it excellent. It doesn't have to be, we know Christmas was yesterday, but anytime book, you want to get this book. This is, right now, I always tell her she's our oldest author. She will be 90 next month. Next month is her birthday, so she's 89 right now. She published this when she was 89. This is Dr. Mildred Dalton Henry, From the Ashes I Rise. She's her autobiography, Take the Time, and this is the back cover. You can see this lovely woman right here. There she is right there on the back cover. This is her book. The other books I'm going to show you really quickly, as I often do. And this is what I've learned. If I don't show them to you, how will you know? How will you know these books exist? This is Saying No Nicely. Many of you, this book, you can read this in 30 minutes. People have told me they have used it and it works. This is when I wrote this book, it came out, a little while ago, but it's still going strong on Amazon. It's a children's book here, Stuck in the Elevator, for children ages 2 to 6. I'll let you see the pictures in here, how big they are. They're really colorful, but they do get out. As I always try to make sure I say that, because when you think about being stuck in the elevator, you see how happy they are. They all get out the elevator, okay? Ages 2 to 6. The newest one, I'll show you that in a second one. The other book, this is from another author, from Justin Lowe, My Cat is a Spy. This is our son's book. This is his book, My Cat is a Spy. Yeah, this is about ages, let me see. I say the same, 2 to 6. Look how big his writing is, bigger than mine is on there. So it tells you about the age group. The other book, another one, this is from another author that published with us. Her name is Fayette Foster. Hi, Fayette. There you I'm waving to you. And this is her book, Why is Little Face So Happy? And the other book I want to show you another one. This is This is dear to my heart. This is Save Your Home from Probate. If you own a home, and even if you have a will, even if you have a will, you still need to save your home from probate, because the will only means you're telling the judge what to do. In this book, it'll show you how to. You get one sheet of paper, it's one form. Fill it out, attach it to your deed. Now the home does not go to probate. That's huge. And last but not least, today is the new book coming out. It'll be out on January 1st, and that is Justin Lost a Tooth. This book right here. Justin Lost a Tooth. January 1st, it'll be up on Amazon. In fact, we're loading it up. We're just in probably the next day or so. And I'll show you some pictures from Justin Lost a Tooth. Oh, this is the one. Oh, don't leave it over there. Hold on. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, here we go. You see, ta-da, ta-da. Because tooth, there you go. There we go. And these are pictures of Justin. I think he's at his desk here. No, it said lunch. It said, was it at lunch or before? That's when it's talking. That he's the teacher's talking to him. He wants to know what he lost it to. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, da-da-da-da. We have this wonderful, wonderful lady here that has taken time out of her busy day. She's on vacation, and she still took the time to come and be on the show. And I really appreciate her for that, which I've expressed it to her, but I just wanted her to know I really do appreciate her taking the time. As I said before, she's visiting with family, and she still took the time to be on the show. Her name is Benicia Crooms, aka the Blockchain Dancer. She is a native from Silicon Valley, Houston rooted, and a recent LA resident. Benicia is in the blockchain and digital assets, is BDA industry, where she provides assurance and risk assessments to clients. Additional, Benicia serves as the Los Angeles chapter president for Black Girls Do Engineer, a nonprofit organization that gives hands-on STEAM, STEM, or experiences to girls ages 6 through 12, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. On her free time, Benicia likes to spend her free time practicing the art of ballet and traveling with her husband and 2 dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you or bring to the show Benicia Crooms. Benicia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mary. Thank you for inviting me to
Oh,
your talk show.
oh, thank you for coming. We're so glad to have you. Your area is an area. Well, before I go into that, let me ask you this. You tell us about because engineering and STEAM, or STEM, and we call it STEAM and STEM. I think they added the A for arts in there in some. Um, that's not an area that we as African Americans tend to gravitate to.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how is it that you've gone into that area, and especially blockchain.
Yeah. So, like you had said in my introduction, I was born and raised in Silicon Valley, and I was around a very niche group of Black kids where we were going through this phase of new innovation and new technology that a lot of the other parts of the United States and also the world, didn't get to experience. So I was very fortunate that my parents put me into STEM enrichment programs growing up
Wow.
in San Jose, which is where I'm born and raised. This is San Jose, California, which is a part of Silicon Valley. And
Mm-hmm.
through those enrichment programs, I had and was actively involved in many organizations and nonprofits that were promoting Black women in technology, in STEM, in coding, in science. I've done tons of science fairs, lots of coding camps, went to Stanford University to do things along the lines of robotics. Um,
Wow.
so it was in my nature to be a part, like to be in STEM. And after kind of like, having that be the presence and the prominent thing in my life as a kid,
Right.
I was a little rebellious and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because I thought that there is enough Black women in this industry because that was my environment growing up. So I went to Prairie View A&M University
Okay.
which is a HBCU out of Prairie View, Texas, near outside of Houston. And wanted to get that HBCU experience because even though I was around um, Black kids in San Jose, there's not a large Black community, and there's also not a very large Black population. So I wanted to get that experience. I wanted to be closer to my dad's side of the family, which is in Houston, and studied nutrition. And while I was in school, I kind of had that aha moment that I actually wanted to go back into STEM. and
But
and
you,
it was
yeah,
kind of that moment where you don't realize what you have, like what you have,
mhm,
until you go somewhere else and experience something different, and then
sure.
you realize, like, oh, like what I actually had back home was a lot better than what I'm than what I did. Maybe I should have listened to my parents. So I finished out school for nutrition and automatically knew that I wanted to get back into technology just because that was something that I was born and raised in, and
Uh,
pretty much had a solid foundation and a growing path in that industry because of all of the enrichment camps that I was involved with. And following that same pattern and switching industries, I just kind of Googled like STEM organizations for Black people in Houston area, and Black Girls Do Engineer popped up. And I got in contact with our CEO, Cara Branch, and the rest is history. So, so she was
wow.
able to kind of like help mentor me and guide me into getting back into tech. But I feel like, nutrition is also a part of STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I always say I never really left STEM at all. I just kind of deviated and went into another realm and another topic of it, which I feel everyone should try and do is,
Yeah,
try all different aspects of STEM because, you might like it, you might not like it, but
right,
it doesn't take any away of any of your experiences or any other things. You're just learning a new topic. So
right.
um yeah, so I went to grad school, Southern New Hampshire University, did their online program in information technology, um, and I was applying for jobs. And my husband and I were looking for, a way to get out of Texas at the time. And a recruiter from Deloitte had reached out and had said, "Hey, you want to move to Los Angeles?" And I was like, "Anything to get back to the sunshine, my sunshine state."
Oh, that's
So packed all of our bags, packed our dogs in a car, and moved out to Los Angeles. And now we're here. We're loving it. And now I'm in blockchain and digital assets, which my financial advisor actually had introduced me to the topic. I had no idea what blockchain was, what digital asset was. I just knew
okay.
about cryptocurrency, but didn't really understand the technology component and how much it can really transform and shape business solutions and just the way that we function as a society. And just to give you a little background, blockchain technology just means that any data that you record or store can never be deleted. So, um, think about
Wow.
like your driver's license, your birth certificate,
Right,
important information that we store. Right
right.
now, it can be manipulated, it can be changed because of that's just
Wow.
the nature of the technology that we have. So once he kind of introduced it to me like that, I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's definitely something I want to get into. It's an
Uh-huh.
emerging technology. It's something that we're still learning and we're still
Right,
at the infancy phase of, which
right.
is always key because you want to be, especially in tech, you want to always be at that innovation and infancy stage in order
Yes.
to make solutions and kind of like be a leader in the space. So I took it more as an opportunity to get ahead based off
Yeah.
of my experiences in STEM that I've had since I was younger.
My
And
quick question about that is too, in blockchain, when I think blockchain, I think of cryptocurrency. And
mhm,
that's an area I know nothing about. I just
yeah,
know the word. I'm gonna be honest. That's you just heard all I knew when I said cryptocurrency. I have
right,
no idea what that really means. And I think
mhm,
a lot of people, when we don't know what things mean, we're afraid of it.
right,
We shy away from that unknown. that's it. Well, why don't you explain what is cryptocurrency? What is it?
Yeah. So if you think about cryptocurrency, and I would like to kind of separate the two.
Okay.
So cryptocurrency is supported by blockchain, but they are two different spaces. So with cryptocurrency, we have things like, like just like regular currency, right? We have like United States dollar, we have the Chinese yen, we have the Mexican peso. So they're different types of monies that are used to circulate in the economy. So with cryptocurrency, it's the same concept, but it's in a digital space. And what makes cryptocurrency so unique is that you are now able to use one type of currency in all of these different places in the world. So if you were to buy, we'll just say like Bitcoin, or if you're to buy Ether, which are some of the more popular currencies that
Mhm.
we all know of, I would be able to take some of that Bitcoin and go to China or go to the Bahamas or go to pretty much anywhere around the world that would be able to accept that form of payment, and use that for transactions and for services or for goods, rather than having to go to an exchange and having to exchange your money, or
Okay.
different things along those lines.
Well, the one thing, see, I've heard too, you have to have a key. I mean, see, I know the terminology. I don't
Hmm.
know. I have no clue how it works. I just know I've heard about the crypto. I've heard about, like you said, Bitcoin is the one I've heard of. I don't even know what Bitcoin's going for now. I know it was, believe it or not, I was introduced to my husband and I about 4, maybe 5 years ago, and it was
Hmm.
then $1,200.
Right.
I don't know what it is today. What is Bitcoin? I have no clue what it is today. But
Yeah,
that
and I'm definitely not a financial advisor. I just want to have that
no,
as a
no,
clear
no. That's not. I'm
line.
just. I'm trying to figure. I'm like I said. I really want to learn this because,
Right.
but the reason I want to learn it is because this is how I look at our world. Whatever it is, wherever we are, we're not going back.
Mhm.
Let me just say that's been my observation. I don't care, like whether it's the phone, whether it's a computer. Well, I don't care what it is. The chances are we're not going to go back. So the point I'm saying that is that that's why I want to learn. I want to
Mhm.
learn about it. I need to learn about it because if not just for me, for the generation that's coming behind me, so my children and grandchildren, I can teach them because I've never heard them mention it. So that means that says to me they're probably not involved in that, in
Right.
learning about it. So, but I understand what you mean. You're not a financial advisor. Listen, let's make that clear, everybody. So just
Not a
know
financial advisor.
you say that just like I tell people I'm not a lawyer when I
Yeah.
say this because and we're saying that to protect ourselves, really,
Hmm.
because somebody will say, "Well, I heard that on her show, so it must be true." It's just that we are giving our opinions, not advice. That's what
Right.
this is. So just so we are clear, Holly, and that we want to make sure. Let me make. I did see a comment come in. I want to make sure we get our comments in. We first
Okay.
have Gwen. Hi, Gwen, and she said, "Hello, Benicia. Hi, Mary, Gwendolyn." And I'll tell
Hello,
you, this is
Kristen.
our fan club.
Okay. Awesome.
I know. And then we have David. Hi, David. Watching from
Hello. Hi,
North Carolina.
David.
North Carolina is in the house. Hi, David.
Nice. That's awesome.
I know. And then Benicia put oh no, Charles. Hi, Charles. I mean,
Hello, Charles.
I looked. I was at another meeting earlier, and it was a lower number than normally is at the meeting. And everybody's like, "This is the holidays. People are out doing things, and that kind of thing." But I will tell you,
Right.
thank you, Gwen, David, and Charles for being here today. I know this is what I had to learn too. The only time I see are the comments, and then when the show ends, I see all these people that were watching the show.
Yeah.
So just know your information. This is, as I said before, audience. This is our opinion about it. This is her
Hmm.
opinion. So she's telling not. This is not investment advice because my
Right.
my knowledge of it, I feel that we just, as to me as a community, have not embraced cryptocurrency. To me, maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but I don't even hear people talk about it. So that's telling me if I when I mention it, people go, "Oh, that's going to go away. It's a fad." I've heard this. That's the one thing I did hear. Someone said that's a fad. That's
Hmm.
that's not real.
Right.
What's your comment?
Yeah, so I definitely think it's here to stay. Like I was saying earlier, blockchain and digital assets,
Hmm.
it's a very emerging technology. So there's a lot of newness that's going on. There's a lot of learning curves that I'm sure that most people have seen in the news about. And with those learning curves, there's going just to be more innovation. There's going to be more projects. There's
Yeah.
going to be more solutions that we're going to come up with in order to enhance our society, because there are positives and negatives to everything. But at the end of the day, we just have to see what's going to be best for ourselves, best for our society, in order for us to progress together.
Okay. What is the now? I know too. I've heard of what is it called? Is it NFTs? Is that
Hmm.
right? Is
Right.
that correct? NFTs. Okay.
Yes.
What is that?
So NFTs are also called non-fungible tokens, and think of it as think of a token as like if you were to go to Chuck E. Cheese, and you're only able to use that token at Chuck E. Cheese in order to play games, and and at the end of the day you win prizes. So you purchase that token in representation of something. So if you've heard of NFTs that go for, tens of millions of dollars, it's
Mhm.
not the fact that they're purchasing that NFT, like that token, that digital token. They're actually purchasing something that is related to it, or that is attached to the token. So it could be a very famous painting. It could
Mhm.
be, exclusive rights or to a song. It could be, acts like certain access and certain privileges to, a certain type of organization or a certain type of group. So there are different perks with NFTs, and it is a form of a digital asset that is ultimately attached to
Okay.
something.
So, and like I said, I know these things from like gleaning information from like us. You can see I know that the term, I know the names, I know that's about it. But that's my
Right.
that's. But I definitely would encourage each and every one of us to look into this because
Hmm.
we're not going back. Let me say that.
Right.
We have a comment from LaSharon. Is it LaSharon? I think it's or LaSharon. McLean Perez. Hi, LaSharon. Thank you for coming to
Hello.
the show today.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for coming.
yes, but I'm just sitting up here. I'm in awe like this. You just because it is a field that is I feel like it's just wide open.
Hmm.
That's how I feel about it. I know now the Black Girls Do Engineer. I think we spoke earlier. You said there's 4 chapters or of that black, and they're all over the country or
Yes.
primarily. Okay,
Yes. So we have our headquarter chapter is in Houston, Texas.
okay.
We also have a chapter in Los Angeles, which I'm the chapter president of. We have a virtual chapter and also a chapter in New Orleans.
Now you have a virtual chapter,
Yes.
so anyone can join that chapter. Is that it? Or
Yes.
any? Do you have to be a girl to become a part of Black Girls Do Engineer?
Yes. We cater towards girls to 6 to 18, which is about elementary, middle, and high school.
Okay. So you said ages 6 to 18. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Because I know I do know some young ladies that fall in that age group. So
Hmm.
I will definitely. As a matter of fact, let me put that up for those of you. If you have family members that or your own children that you would like to get involved with Black Girls Do Engineer, you can go to blackgirlsdoengineer.org. In between, if the girls are between the ages of 6 and 18, which is primarily school age, that they're saying they want to work with these young ladies and mentor them, then please go in and go to the website. And we have a couple other comments coming in. We have this is Elaine. She says, "Hello, Mary and Benicia. I'm loving hearing the information that Miss Benicia Crooms is sharing. I'm learning new info. Can young girls from IE join the LA chapter?"
And
So,
IE, I'm not sure.
oh, Inland Empire. So Riverside, San Bernardino.
Oh, yeah, of course. We actually have a few members from the Riverside area who come in and drive to our membership meetings.
All right. And please, if you have a flyer, please send that over to me. We do have email list that goes out, and this is what I've learned. You never know who you're talking
Right.
to, and
Mhm.
there's really no way to know that you can share that information and have girls join. Is there a fee to become a member?
Yes, there is a membership fee in order to join, and we do have a membership recruiting period, which actually is going to start gearing up in January. So in a few weeks, we have
All
some
right.
membership recruiting events. So I'll definitely send the information to you, Mary, and so that all of your audience can, who's in the area or who who is expanded, in like New Orleans, Houston, or would like to join the virtual chapter, they can be a part of that.
All right. We definitely have to share because the email goes all around the country. I can tell you.
Yes.
We have Richard Gerald Nichols. Hi, Richard. Hello,
Hi.
Mary and Oliver. Happy holidays. Wilma kidnapped you if you don't stop. That's his wife. Anyway,
Okay.
Richard. And then he says, hello, Benicia.
Hi.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, thank you. Well, I will tell you because even the virtual chapters, so you don't have to be in one of those local chapters. There's a virtual, so you really said if you're between those ages of 6 and 18, we're giving you an opportunity to join. Now, do the girls pay the fee or the parents pay the fee? I'm assuming it's not a big fee then to join.
Yes, parents do pay the fee.
Okay, then we would those that would have children or grandchildren that would like to go into the STEAM
Mhm.
program. I mean, like, in those areas. Now, what is okay? I know it's STEAM and STEM. So
Mhm.
STEM is when you take the A out, you take the arts
Yes.
out. Okay, that's what I thought. That's the only difference. And so what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you're STEM, STEM is science, technology, engineering, math, and if you're STEAM, is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Yes.
That's what I just was showing you the difference. Now, why they put the arts in there and they didn't put in the first, I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
know that part, but I just know that if you are in those areas, we need more African Americans in those areas
Mhm.
that are leaning toward that. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. We always do.
Now, the are there scholarships for young women that are interested in going into those fields?
So it is scholarships to apply for a program or scholarships in general.
Where if they were interested, let's say they're a junior in high school and they're interested, but they want to apply to college. Is there scholarships that would help them get through college with tuition and everything in those fields?
Yeah, there's scholarships everywhere where you can apply to schools. I know when I was applying to schools, scholarships were kind of like my thing. So I applied to sororities, fraternities, like churches. I did talent shows. Pretty much any organization, like local organizations
Mhm.
within like my community in San Jose, I applied to it because I know that the more scholarships that I had, the better off I'd at least be for my first year of college. And since I was going out of state from California to Texas, at the time, it was actually cheaper for me to go out of state for school, but I still had responsibilities to pay for out of state waivers.
Right.
So I also applied to my college of study, which I was in the College of Agriculture. So I applied for scholarship funds in the College of Agriculture. I applied for scholarships to the university. Um, and with those scholarships, I was able to get funding and then also able to get my out of state waivers paid for.
Yeah.
So when it comes to scholarships, I would just kind of like start, locally and see, what like sororities, fraternities. Those are always really great scholarships. Order of Eastern Stars, Masons, Masonics, they always do go out of great things pouring back into the community and scholarships and things along those lines. So that's kind of like where I would start first. But also just making sure that you're involved with your community as well
Mhm.
is very important, which my parents had instilled in me at a very young age is to be active within my community because the more I give to my community, the more that I will be able to receive. And because I was so active in the community,
Yeah.
more scholarship opportunities had came up. So if they are a junior in high school or going into their junior year, going into their senior year, it's definitely not too late to get acclimated into different community
Right.
service projects, whether that's through the city or
Right.
whether that's through your high school. I think my mom was a part of the PTA, so I was able to apply for that scholarship. So really,
So
just the
there's money out there, is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, the more
Uh-huh.
that you're involved in the community, the more the community is going to give back. But, if you're just kind of online looking for scholarships and applying for more of like the bigger
Yeah.
names like the McDonald's or the Dells, you might have a little bit of a harder time receiving that scholarship because you don't have that connection, or you might not have that network to be rooting for you on the other side. So
Right.
that's why I always say it's better for you to start locally at,
Sure.
different scholarships that are of people who because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are voting and who are saying yes of who is receiving the scholarships. And when they see your name across, they're going to say yes, like
Right.
she or he needs a scholarship.
I can tell you, just listen to you. We also have a lady, she's going to be coming on one of the shows, and she's, well, earlier, Elaine Wilson. That is her, that's what she does. She finds scholarships for young people, and she's been doing it for years. And I keep trying to get her on the show because I don't think people realize what you just said is the money is there. If
Mhm.
you have a desire to get a college education, there is no reason not to go on and do it. The money, but you have to also show yourself, what have you been doing to be a part of this community? What
Right.
activities did you were you a part of? Like you said about the PTA, your mother was involved in the PTA, so she was aware that there was a PTA scholarship. uh,
Mhm.
and locally, we I don't think a lot of people realize just how many scholarships there are that
Right.
are just right here in the community. And Elaine, what did you say? Oh, first of all, before we said Elaine, this is Charles says the arts in many cases are taken out based on funding. That's
Mhm.
true, but I noticed that a lot of, thank you, Charles, they're coming back. The arts are coming. We're seeing that we're starting to have more respect for the arts too.
Mhm.
Elaine said, Benicia is exactly right. There are scholarships available. That's why I diligently work to get this information out to our youth and their parents. Bottom line is that you must submit the applications. That's right. You got to do
Yeah.
the work.
Yeah,
Nobody's
you
going
have to do the work, and you have
to.
to do it completely and wholeheartedly, because I've also been on the other side of giving out and distributing scholarships. And it's a little disheartening to see, little girls apply for these scholarships. You encourage them to apply for the scholarship. They apply for the scholarship, and then it's incomplete. So that already kind of tells the mindset of where they are at in their seriousness of applying for the scholarship. And you have to make that hard decision and just say no, because you can tell through that submission process that they're not giving it their 100% and they're not taking it seriously. So submitting that application, giving your best in it, submitting it completely and fully is also very important, because that's not only a reflection of themselves, but that's also a reflection of the person who is referring them to that scholarship.
That's true. And we have a comment from, oh, I don't want to say your name wrong. Igoula. Welcome. Hi there.
Oh,
I don't want to say the name wrong though, so but I can tell that this is something that's near, as they say, near and dear to you, is scholarships and helping young women to understand that you cannot just halfway do something. Not just women, but anybody really.
right.
When that application comes out, they want to see a full, complete application. They want, if they're asking for your report cards or whatever the case, those grades, they want, you
Mhm.
have to submit them. You can't just submit the application, so they're not going to look at that or something. You have to be as clear and concise as you possibly can in the application process.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now I know too, and I've given you, like I said, I've talked about not really engineering as it is other areas. You did say you went out, you did, but you've been in the same field, but you decided to go back into engineering specifically. But I think it helped for you to see another area. That's why
Hmm.
you could appreciate it.
Right.
And that's when you said, oh, okay, this wasn't that bad. This,
Yes. Well, at the time, kind of just growing up in like in Silicon Valley, the main common theme around STEM was technology and coding. And
Mhm.
I wasn't a strong coder. And
Yeah.
as technology was continuing to evolve, um, I kind of just fell out of it because I didn't like to write code. And that was more of, like, I don't know if you're familiar with the organization called Black Girls Who Code, which I was actually a part of that organization when it had first started out of Oakland. And that was kind of the recurring theme is, we need more coders, we need more coders, you have to learn how to code. And I didn't like to code, so I that's
Hmm.
kind of how I started to shift into seeking other, careers in nutrition. and
Hmm.
um and then as technology continued to advance, and as my foundational skills in still being curious and still being open-minded to learning new things, I learned that there's more to do outside of coding, and you don't have to be a coder in order to be in technology. And that's kind of the first question that people ask me when I say that I'm in tech, is they're like, oh, you're a coder. And I'm like, actually, I'm not. um, so, um, so it's really that foundational elements of being open-minded,
Hmm.
not just thinking of things in one facet. Like, there are multiple avenues and there are multiple ways that we can still discover and be curious. And
Hmm.
that's kind of how I landed into the blockchain digital asset world, especially um, with risk that is associated with this new innovation. I know and I understand the importance of it,
Hmm.
but if it wasn't for those foundational skills that I
Right.
learned at a young age, and that exposure that I had at a young age that my parents had, because I didn't, go and say I wanted to do a science fair. Like, my parents put me into these programs, so that's also another key thing too. Um, is that, parents have to expose their kids to these topics and to these environments in order for them to understand that there is a broad spectrum and a broad way that we can think and expand our minds.
I agree. I think that what you're saying, I don't think we have enough of.
Hmm.
And you were saying your parents. I'm not. Well, I know they do at some schools. I can't say all do. As far as like you said, the science fairs and what it takes and what are you, looking for and all of those different things. I remember doing them with when the kids were little, but as they got bigger, I don't think, or they weren't as involved. I can say that. But I
Hmm.
did see when they were smaller, there was really a big push. I'm hoping it's still there, but I'm not involved in the school system as much as I was when my children were there. So I can't say what's there.
Right.
I'm hoping it is just as active, or if not more so, to get
Yeah.
the opportunity. But I've heard of Black Girls Who Code. I have heard of that organization. In fact, that's what I thought. Um, Black Girls Do Engineer was either part of it or like a subsidiary from it, but I have heard of both. So
Yeah, and we love and support that, there are organizations out here that are promoting Black girls to get into all areas of STEM. And, we are, because I was a part of that program as well,
right,
which
right.
then led me to Black Girls Do Engineer. And what's so unique about our organization is that we focus on all aspects of STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We just don't focus on one type of of topic. We focus on all topics. And what I love being as a chapter president is that we get to explore all of these different topics. And
Mhm.
it's not only a learning experience for our members, but it's also a learning experience for myself. So each region of our chapter, which also makes it so unique, is that we can kind of cater towards our regional strengths. And being in Los Angeles, we have all these great things around film and
Mhm.
television and communications.
Yeah.
And guess what? That's supported by technology.
Yep.
And one of our STEM topics was technology in media and entertainment. So we had a
Wow.
Black professional from Netflix come in and talk about the careers and talk about the technology that supports not only the streaming platform that's on Netflix, but how movies are made, how just, all of the different intricate levels of
Yeah.
technology that goes into actually making the show or making the movie. We also had Black Sands Entertainment, which is a Black supported, they all do Black comic books and they have Black characters.
Wow.
And they taught the essentials and the basics of animation. So we started off with
Wow.
the foundational elements of creating a flip book. And that's kind of where you get your start to creating and developing animation. But
Mhm.
Giselle and Emmanuel and Joshua, who's a part of that Black Sands Entertainment organization, they were able to talk us through actually like going from the flip book, then actually going into the frames, then putting it into Adobe. And
Wow.
that all right there is technology that I was like, holy smokes, like I didn't even know, that could be a thing. And
Yeah.
then we even had Albert Lord, who is an Emmy winner for some from movies and films, and he came in and talked about sound and vibrations, which is also falls underneath STEM,
Yeah.
sound waves, and how we were all able to kind of like listen to the wall and hear the sound of the building and how those vibrations, how that sound then translates into movies and film. So that's what makes Black Girls Junior
Wow.
Engineer so great, and which I love is because we can have all of these different people come in and give 15 minutes, give an hour, give 45 minutes to talk about what they do
Mhm.
in their field, they're in their field of STEM, and then be able to expose our girls to it. Now, will we have animators and movie individuals? I don't know, but that one topic or that one subtopic of our main topic, that maybe
Mhm.
that 15 minutes of that sound presentation could then interest them into maybe sound going into the medical field and helping kids maybe who have hearing disabilities and
Wow.
increasing hearing aids. Like there's so much you can do.
Yes.
That's what I really love about Black Girls Engineers. We get that opportunity to expose our kids to just all things STEM.
I'm sitting up here. I'm going, wow, and I'm
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
because I'm actually in the I say quote unquote just about a month ago entered into the movie industry as a casting assistant.
Hmm.
And so I'm on the casting side, not on the technology side per se, but working with the talent. But I just being exposed to that industry, when you see how many people are behind the camera,
Right.
it is literally phenomenal
Hmm.
to see what it takes to make a movie. It's phenomenal. I would tell if you ever get a chance to do it, I would encourage everyone to do it. And then what the people you see on set is nothing compared to the people you see with the technology.
Right.
Because I was sitting next to, we were on set earlier last year, and the man, I was just sitting down, I was sitting next to him, I was watching him do the sound. And I
Hmm.
said, so you're doing, he said, everybody, you can't see what I do, basically. He said, what
Right.
I do is make sure that the movie sounds clear and crisp, and you're not going, what did they say? That's my
Yeah.
job to make.
Right.
And I'm sitting here watching him, and I said, well, how did you get that job? How did you?
Yeah.
And what he said was very interesting. He said, I had a mentor. I had someone that was doing it, and they showed me how to do it. Now that I know how to do it, I can mentor someone else into this. But it means that he didn't go, he said himself, I didn't go to school for this.
Hmm.
It's not that you can't go to school for it, but he said a lot of the jobs that we do, you learn on the job.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I
That's
was like,
1,000%.
that's what he was sharing
1,000%.
that. And I was sitting there, I said, really? He goes, yeah, I
Yeah.
learned this on the job. So I thought that was just fascinating to me. It really
Mhm.
was, because it really showed me. And he said, after I finish this film, I already have 6 other films lined up
Yeah.
already. So I was like, wow, I'm just sitting here going, but
Yeah.
he did say this too with what he was. He said it usually is feast or famine. He said, this is
Mhm.
usually how it is. He goes, now I have 6 other movies. He goes, then I usually have a break. That's what he was telling me. And then I'll have another 5 or 6 movies. But remember, I come from education. So we were, we know we were off in the summer and back. It was very regimented. So to hear someone in a very fluid career that is
Mhm.
not as regimented, that's making a whole lot more money than I did as a teacher, I promise you. So I'm just fascinated. I'm just fascinated.
Right.
So just know that when you mentioned film, I'm sitting here going, um, that's an air. I think if I remember correctly, last I heard, 10% of all of California's jobs, 10% are in that industry, entertainment
Mhm.
industry.
Mhm.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So that's just telling you the thousands of people in well, just not just Southern California, Northern California too, but that we're all in some way attached to the industry of
Right.
entertainment.
Right.
So yeah, but technology is running things, is what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Most
happy
definitely.
that you are in a field that because when you love it, to me, it doesn't feel like work.
Mhm.
Does it feel like, does that you feel the same way?
Sometimes, even in the line of work that I do now, and going back to what you were saying about just on the job training,
Mhm.
providing risk and assurance for clients, I had no idea what that is. Like, I had no idea what a stock report is. Like, I, I, I had no idea how to test controls and what that meant.
Mhm.
And I was a little discouraged because again, like, it was on the job training. It's really just a matter of, can you swim, or are you going to sink? Like, is this going to break you, or is it going to make you? And
Yeah.
um, falling on those foundational skills and those foundational elements of, continuously like being open-minded, wanting to learn, having the eagerness to keep trying and to just not give up, and giving myself a time period as far as like, okay, like, after I actually understand what it is that I do every day, like,
Mhm.
then I'm going to make a decision if it's worth, me having a career. um, and now that I actually understand what it means to test controls, test different technology environments, provide that assurance to clients, that their technology systems that they're running in order to spit out financial information or access management is working effectively and is working sufficiently.
Right.
It kind of opened my eyes like to a whole new world,
Yeah.
like, to
Yeah.
not be cliche with Aladdin, but really it's a whole new world. And
Yeah.
risk in blockchain and digital assets right now, what's going on with FTX and how they didn't consider the risk components with customers holding their digital assets, which is why FTX collapsed, is a golden career. It's a straight line as far as, wow, like, this is literally a great industry and a great topic for me to be in right now,
Mhm.
because it's innovation,
Yeah.
it's new products, it's new services. Who is thinking about the risks that are associated with these new cryptocurrencies or with these new blockchain technologies? Who's
Yeah.
who's thinking about that? You
Nobody.
right, no
They're
one.
not. They're
Yeah,
not, because they're
they
making.
want
They see the money, and they're
to.
making so much money. And not that, I'm not saying they're not losing or whatever, but I think that's all people see. They
Right.
only see the upside. Nobody, and you're absolutely right that people are not looking at the downside.
They're not thinking about the downside. So me now, as a Black lady in, this industry, and I don't really see that many of us in this field,
Mhm.
I take a few steps back and I think, well, maybe who else was a little bit discouraged because, it was new topics and this is something that you learn on the job. And, we just didn't have that open mindset to continue to keep thinking forward. So now with Black Girls Do Engineer, I want to provide that opportunity and that space for our girls to get to learn a little bit more
Yeah,
about the risks that are associated with
yeah.
innovation and with developing and with creating, because that alone is a job.
It is. It really is because people don't, like you said, they're not looking at the risk. They're not
Mhm.
evaluating it or determine, because it looks good and
Right.
it's
It looks
going
great.
down now. But you and I both know what's the saying: "What goes up must come down."
Yes.
So where is that that people will start seeing that, or
Mhm.
recognizing it, because that's what you're saying is that's what you do. You can
Yeah.
assess that for that individual. That's huge. That is, I mean, phenomenal. I definitely will be talking to you off camera. No, but I was,
Yeah.
but
Taking
I
classes
tell you,
every week.
I'm just amazed at it because I never heard anybody even mention the risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's the new shiny car, it's the flashy
Mhm.
stuff, it's, all the bells and the whistles that are going with it. But, who did the crash test? Like, do the airbags work? Is the car actually going to be safe to drive on the road? Like, are the wheels gonna fall off? Like,
Yeah, it's
who
real.
knows?
It's real, but nobody's doing. Well, I think, like you said, it's got to be an area where you are doing that. This
Hmm.
and sometimes I don't think we always recognize our genius in just knowing that,
Right,
just knowing that there's a risk here. So let's evaluate that risk.
right.
And Richard says, oh, he said, how did you become president? That's what he asked.
Black Girls Injury. Yeah, that's a great question. So like I said a little bit earlier, as I was transitioning from nutrition into technology with my graduate studies, I put forth effort. I had to sow a seed into the organization, make that first step first to say like, hey, I need this organization to help me get to my next career path. And the relationship that I had with Cara, it's phenomenal. And she's fantastic at mentoring and just giving, that motivation and that encouragement, because there are a lot of hard times where I was like, I can't do it anymore. I don't think this is going to be for me. But, she was there. And, after I
Oh,
graduated from the program and, my husband and I transitioned from Houston to Los Angeles, I, kept connected back with her and I was like, hey, like, you need me to do anything? Like, say the word, like, what do you need me to do? And she was like, I need you to run a chapter for me in Los Angeles. And I was like, I don't
oh,
know anyone. I'm new to the city. Like,
yeah,
I have no idea even where to start, like what to do. Like, I'm literally all of my resources are back at home in Silicon Valley. All of my resources were in Houston, where, with my family and
right.
with my husband's family. And, those are all of our so I was literally starting from scratch. And I was like, I don't know if I could do this because I have no resources. And she was like, okay, you'll go find it. And I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah,
okay.
and you did.
Yeah. So yeah, so I have a fantastic team of 5, including myself as 6. I have a wonderful husband who supports me in all of my crazy ideas. Um, my mom comes from the nonprofit background, so she helps me a lot with running a nonprofit and making sure,
Mhm.
just all of the bells and whistles that go into a nonprofit.
Right.
We also are at out of Leimert Park, which is a
All
great,
right.
great, great community area for Black people and Black culture. So we're out of there, and they support us tremendously.
Wow.
But again, if it wasn't for me keeping an open mind, if it wasn't open, for me staying curious and just, not
Yeah.
just accepting no as an answer, we wouldn't be where we're at in our we're not even a year old. We're still like half of a year, and we've done
Oh.
a lot of great things. So,
Yeah.
just taking those baby steps. But if it wasn't for my team, if it wasn't for my husband, if it wasn't for my mom, like,
Oh, but you know what you're really saying. It does take a team. It's not
mhm,
you individually doing it.
no,
Your
definitely
team, and the synergy from that. And look
not.
what you've already said. You've had people come in, award-winning people. I know. How did you get tapped into the entertainment, into the film industry? So did you
Right.
know someone?
So kind of like my theme has been, or like my theory is going to conventions, going to
Okay,
workshops,
got
going
it.
to happy hours is where you'll be able to, network with individuals in order to, be able to provide the resources that you
Yeah,
need. So that's just kind of been my theme. There is a conference out of Lamert Park called Tech Lamert, centered around technology in the media and entertainment industry. And we just set up a booth and, kind of just hustled and said, hey, we need people, we need volunteers.
you know what you did? You made it work.
Yes.
But even like what you just said, you set up a booth. You didn't just sit back at home and go, "Well, we can't do it. I don't know what to do." You went out in the community. That's really what
Right.
you did, and said, "We're here. We are
Yeah.
here, and we need you. We need." And that really made the biggest difference. Is what I'm hearing from you. But do you
Yeah.
have any final words, Benicia, that you'd like to share with our audience today? And thank
Yeah.
you for being here too. I'd like to thank
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me. This is my first podcast. I was telling my husband, I was like, I'm on a podcast. And he's like, okay, like that's great. And I was like, I mean, this is really my first time. So
you.
I don't really know what to expect, but I'm just really thankful, that you have this platform to, just to showcase Mary. And, we need more individuals like you to just continue just to shed light on, individuals like myself and, just other people who are out here inspiring and just engaging with the community. So I want to say thank you
Oh,
first for inviting me onto this show. And just thanks to my family. They're always supporting me in my crazy ideas. And I just want to encourage, all of our listeners out here just to, just to keep going. You're never too old to make changes or to try new things. Whatever ideas that you may have, if it might not work out now, it's, probably for a reason.
right.
And it could work out at another time, and in your life. And sometimes ideas resurface. So
Yes.
some ideas and some dreams that I have, way back when are kind of like resurfacing now, or they're coming in new ways and new shapes and new forms. So yeah, I'm just, thankful also to God that, he's able to get me here and um just bless me with all the things that that I've done so far. And really
Yeah.
just a special shout out to my mom and my dad. My dad passed a few years ago, but if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. So
Right, right. Exactly.
really special shout out to my parents.
Oh, if we wanted, this is a comment too from one of our viewers. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
Wow. I wish I was a whole lot younger. It says these opportunities weren't available over 50 years
Yeah,
ago, which is true.
that's very
And I
true.
will share all of this information with my sorority and other organization connections. And then she says, I hope, well, do I forget it? I hope to connect if possible. Thank you for this information, Ms. Crumbs. Oh,
Yeah, thank you,
listen, that's
Elaine.
very nice of her. And I'm
Yeah,
telling,
thank
and
you.
she means that. Elaine will reach out. Elaine, I can
Okay.
tell you, at the end of the show, she'll be calling me, asking me for your number. So that's who you'll be hearing from, Elaine Wilson. And for sure,
Yes,
for sure.
yes. And if you want to, reach out to us or get in contact, with Black Girls Do Engineer, you can, there's website that's right here on the screen. You can also reach out to our chapter directly, which is LA chapter at blackgirlsdoengineer.org. You can email us there and get connected with us.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Benicia.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
thank
you.
you,
Thank
Mary.
you. You will hear from us. I promise you that. All right.
Awesome.
You have a nice day. Thanks
All
again.
right. Happy holidays.
Same to you. And ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 minute from the, I'm looking at the time, but I like to tell you this was such a wonderful, wonderful interview. That beautiful young lady to come on and say, you know what, you have no excuses, no excuses. Whatever it is you want to do, you need to go on and do it. I always say that anyway. But I want to thank you for being here today. We will be back next Monday, a week from today. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you, because we're going to come back and it's going to be 2023. Wow. 22 is almost put to bed. We're only like a few days away, and that's the end. God bless each and every one of you. I love you, and I'll see you in a week. Bye, everybody.